It's like rule number one is never lose money. Rule number two is never forget rule number one. There's a concept in casinos. It's called the gambler's ruin. Like for example, if you have a coin flip, right, and then you win heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails, right? So on average, you win half the time, right? 50% of the time. But what ends up happening is that, let's say somebody with a big bankroll always has an advantage because sometimes you can get a bad streak, 10 tails in a row, and all the money that you had, boom, it's gone. It's zero, right? So there, the person who could keep funding, who has more funding ability is able to ride the bad times out. And then you just let it average out, no?
That's a great, yeah.
But the average person,
He
doesn't
lost
have
the money.
that ability. He lost the money and you're starting from zero. All that 10, 15 years of hard work, nobody cares. It's gone. It's gone and you're screwed, right? That's why it's when we first started talking about this a few months ago. It's like for me, when you're dealing with your not luxury money, call it, net worth that you have to be careful with, you always have to assume that things will go down 30% and you lose your job. How can you manage that? Can you be okay? Let's say, is it something that, it won't cost you your marriage or, that you're not going to have to, do something dramatic? If no, then okay, then you have more cushion. You can take more risk. But in general, the downside of real estate, as done sometimes with people, is that they put their entire net worth into a physical structure in a small location, that there's a lot of variables outside of their control that can affect you, right? So in that case, if you're in that scenario where if your housing price goes down 20+% and you're in real big trouble, then in that case, you're like, okay, you probably should be renting.
And that's a good rule. Like, do not invest in something that you can't afford to lose. If that investment, you lose 20-30% of the stock market drops, you can still afford to pay that, right?